तो सारे टीचरों को मेरा सादर प्रणाम। कीप अस ब्लेसिंग टू डू माई जॉब वेल टुडे एंड टुमारो। Initially, I was a speaker for Norwegian hypertension and changes these topics. Metabolic modulation of angina. What is new? Is it something new in practice or it is same or we doing on our practice? This is a very important quote by Lionel H.O.P. We are reading the drug to heart all the during the residency. Heart is more than just a pump. It is also an organ that needs energy from the metabolic sources. A metabolic disease, ischemia, should ideally be treated by metabolic therapy. Dr. Leonard did not mention obstruction should be treated by. He mentioned ischemia, and ischemia does not person mean 3 epicardial coronary artery. Remember it. Whenever patient coming to us with 3 normal epicardial coronary or nearly normal epicardial coronary artery, and we are giving some metabolic modulator, some anti-anginal medicine, he is saying why? मेरे angio तो normal है. Why are you giving? So go back in history and let us see what is the causes of ischemia. Starting from vascular disease, pericardial diseases, hypertension, diabetes. What exactly happens in diabetic patient in day-to-day our practice? Patient coming to us with a shortness of breath and chest pain. We are getting ECG might normal, abnormal, getting echo high and feeling pressure, get 2 diastolic dysfunction. Doing TMT might positive, and sending the patient for this angiogram. My friend Gautam is here. He is sending back. Patient no, epicardial coronary is normal. So what to do this kind of patients? Where the microvascular problem persisting, it always persisting. The thing is we should be evaluate later, that is more important. And if you want to evaluate the microvascular dysfunction, I mean with ethically and by some investigation, we should go battery of investigation. Started from acetylcholine, very simple echo and some non-invasive method of investigation. Now if you want to establish it, you should go for CFR, coronary flow reserve, that is diminished in microvascular dysfunction. Angio, slow flow. So not always is sufficient. While practicing a secondary care center, I am not practicing at institute. So clinical sense is the important with the patient, that how to diagnose these things. So what is thought behind this metabolic modulation? You know, fat is the important metabolic substrate for these cardiomyocytes, but when cardiomyocytes is disease, the things is different. Glucose is the easy source for its production of energy. So free fatty acid level increase in terms of angina or whatever disease is there, and because of stopping activity of PDH, pyruvate dehydrogenase, lactic acidosis is there. And this arises sometimes during TMT when patient is going for the exercise intermittent because of acidosis, TMT is positive because of metabolic alteration, and that immediately resolve in is coming to a recovery phase, even 1 minute, 2 minutes, and of course their angio is normal. So this was thought behind this. So metabolic alteration need to decrease energy production, decrease transfer, decrease utilization, decrease ATP synthesis, and decrease calcium uptake. This is a very, very important finding because I am discussing microvascular angina. Suppose in my echocardiographic finding, I mention EF 70%, balle, ejection fraction to normal hai. But honestly, how many of us practicing in cardiology, we mentioning diastolic parameters, mentioning their filling pressure, mentioning their PCWP, mentioning their PSD, that is a very important part of this diastolic patterns. So earliest change in cardiomyocytes is calcium overload. So because of decreased uptake of calcium, this metabolic alteration is going on. So principle goes behind three things. Either we go for directly enhancing glucose oxidation, decreasing circulating level of free fatty acid, or directly inhibiting the enzyme that participate in fatty acid oxidation, that is pyruvate dehydrogenase and acetyl coenzyme. That is rate limiting enzyme for the substrate going from glycolysis to Krebs cycles. So this we are using this molecule ivabradine, ranolazine and trimetazidine here and there. But there is some new indication of this molecule also. Ranolazine we are using with a very effective molecule when the LV function is to dilate ischemic cardiomyopathy for optimization of heart rate. Always using the same sinus rhythm. Regarding ranolazine, we have plenty of trial, CARISA, MARISA trial, TERISA trial. And not latestly, for 2-3 years, this was established some anti-arrhythmic property of ranolazine also. I will come in the subsequent slides. And trimetazidine also having wonderful properties. So how to reduce fatty acid oxidation? We have two molecules, trimetazidine and ranolazine. They have some different mechanism of action, but primarily on the same axis with some differences. So coming to trimetazidine. This is basically substrate that promote glucose oxidation and inhibiting free fatty acid oxidation. What does it mean? It prevents beta oxidation. And if you remember our biochemistry classes, for beta oxidation more ATP is required as compared to glucose as a substrate. So this changes this pathway. And what happened ultimately? Initially, I remember when I was PG, after PG, it was thought that this causes only improving functional capacity of heart in terms of improving ejection fraction and improving in my Czech class. But this is a well proven fact right nowadays. With this have effect on this some anti-arrhythmic property and the molecule as a refractory enzyme. Reduce BNP level, anti-pro-BNP level, and even with the heart failure patient, this improved this KCCQ score also. Coming to ranolazine, this is a piperazine derivative and wonderful molecule, especially if my patient is having refractory angina, and most of the guidelines mention this is a class 2B or class 3 indication, either ACC or ESC guideline. But this is a hemodynamically neutral molecule, trimetazidine and ranolazine. This has almost no effect on the blood pressure and our heart rate. And this is a usual problem in our practice. Suppose a patient coming to us with ischemic cardiomyopathy, BP 90 by 60. Our knee patient in front of us, BP 90 by 60, having ST aggression, ongoing ischemia is going on. After giving vasculoprotective medicine, loading ecosprin, clopidogrel, what else? What we can give? 90, 85, 80, we can't give beta blocker, diuretic nitrate. So in that condition, there is a concept of loading trimetazidine also. You use loading trimetazidine, you use ranolazine in that condition at least to give. There is an indication you can give your first line of medicines. Regarding ranolazine, this is 3 important mechanisms of action. This decreases calcium overload. This is an important way that this reduces the ischemia. This improves the endothelial function and establish the electrical activity. And this is the property. This is basically lead sodium current stabilizer, ranolazine. So this is the property this encounter for reducing the arrhythmic unit potential. Reduction in HbA1c of tune of 0.9. This proven by CARISA study. So this amount of HbA1c reduction is found somewhere with some of the anti-diabetic medication also and is anti-injurious. So your patient need to metabolic modulator are predominantly diabetic and there is no genuine contraindication of this ranolazine. And what does it mean? Some GI upset and some involuntary movement. And this is a cytochrome P450 enzyme inducer. So if you are using on the same time this kind of rifampicin and other drugs, so be cautious, and these are interactions with the calcium channel blockage, especially the delta. But the side effect is concentration dependent. If you are using this ranolazine in therapeutic dose up to 2 grams, usually there is no side effect. But if you are going in the higher dosage, this causes prolongation of QT intervals. In therapeutic doses, that concentration is not able to achieve it. Coming to new molecule that is not in our practice, that might become in the future, this Perhexline. This is another metabolically active drug that was originally developed as anti-anginal medication, considered a relatively safe treatment for the cardiac condition, but remains difficult to use given ongoing need to individualize the dosing and ongoing monitoring plasma level. It is not yet available to use clinically. And if you see a clinical trial with this molecule, so many trials is going with the heart failure or with stable angina, unstable angina, especially hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. This is a very useful drugs and improve the functional class, improve the ejection fraction, and you see one thing I will mention, this causes improvement in diastolic parameter, this causes reduction in LA index volume also, and this causes reduction in end diastolic pressure up to 2.2. So this is a wonderful molecule. While it might get grade 2 diastolic dysfunction, is going to convert as grade 1 after using these molecules. Nicorandil, we are using this molecule since I was doing MD, and wonderful molecules. These are basically potassium channel opener and have a dual mechanism of action. This causes platelet inhibitions, reduction in the atherogenic potential, and improves endothelial dysfunction in cardioprotection. This is a mechanism of action. This is a dual mechanism of action. Basically, this is a nitric oxide donor, so this causes vasodilation, and this causes opening of ATP sensitive potassium channels. This causes two things. This causes hyperpolarization, this in turn causes reduction of calcium overload, and this inhibit endoplasmic reticulum circa activity. This again reduce this calcium overload. This in turn causes reduction in the ischemia. And usually this is question asking which one is the better, coming to back this slide, nitrate or nicorandil. Or can we give together? Our teacher is here, he will be maybe give expert comment. That there is one indication usually we are doing कि nitrate intolerance हो गया, headache होने लगा, we should shift on the nicorandil. What is very basic difference is this nicorandil is effective at the microarterial level, microvascular level also, not only on the epicardial coronary. During intervention giving it is through catheter also. So this is okay. Evidence of benefit is stable and both there is complaint against placebo, yes. There are two differences that need to be mentioned. Effect on the microvascular level, yes, it is effective with the nicorandil only, that is not true with the nitrate. And concern about the tolerance on the endothelial dysfunction, this is better and better with this nicorandil as compared to nitrate. Because its work is like nitrate, so many times our teacher and even the debate and discussion is going that we can't use both together. But in the same patient, my argument is, suppose that someone lady is having a epicardial lesion and angioplasty done, might possibly they have some microvascular problem also and refractory angina also. And if patient stent is patent and patient having the symptom, so if you don't have any option to use, so why not use together? This is my concern. I am using the clinical practice with this argument. I explained the mechanism of action. This is a different trial. This causes coronary heart disease, death, non-fatal MI, and all kinds of events while using this. Coming to other newer drugs, that is etoxylene. This is an inhibitor of CP2 similar to pregabalin, but this is not well proven clinically. Coming to GIK infusion, sometimes mentioned in the literature for using it in the acute condition. The beneficial effect of GIK infusion could be due to increased glycolysis and decreased free fatty acid level uptake and metabolism by myocardial cells. The idea behind the GIK therapy is backed by the recent findings from the immediate trials, which are in the line with the myocardial metabolic support. Currently, it is used mainly in the acute setting of post-myocardial infarction and the LV dysfunction. So, practically, I have not used it, but mentioned in the literature that people are using it. Coming new molecule, we know that when there is ischemia, there is microvascular dysfunction, This causes alteration in integrity of the cytoskeletal filament, swelling of this cardiomyocytes, and reduction in this mitochondria function. So something to attack on this thing, same like this diabetes. Drug to attack on the diabetes. Same way, this elampretide, this is going to affect on this mitochondria of the cardiomyocytes and going to improve the integrity of this cardiomyocytes. So, but this drug is again going to some trial and not going to confirm clear. So this experimental trial is going on, this improvement in the, but you see the sample size are very small, somewhere 14%, some 30%, like 56%, like sample size is not a very big. But this causes improvement in definite airway function, reduction in this feeling pressure, reduction in NYHA class, all these sort of things. So this is the one molecule, maybe futures. Coming to last section, gene therapy, and I think genomic cardiology is a future for all of us. We know in the treatment of lipid management, so many drugs is coming in the pipe under the gene-based therapy. So gene therapy has been investigated for the treatment of cardiovascular disease and related condition, the reduction of the atherosclerosis and the coronary artery disease. So what the thought behind this? This is the main player associated with the cardiac tissue regeneration and the growth factor of the cell cycle that is regulated by different type of RNA, miRNA, ssRNA, and it is a genetic model. It is the complementary DNA and different subgroup of RNA introduced in the vector, and they are going to see their effect on the level of improvement in the cardiomyocytes, coronary artery and peripheral vascular tree, then fibroblast and other part, stem cells. And this was found, this causes improvement in the survival of the cardiomyocytes, enhance angiogenesis, enhance the fibroblast activity, and enhance the stem cell activity regarding this formation of new cardiomyocytes and new cells. And this a few clinical trials is going with the gene therapy, epicardial therapy system of this drugs, and then some endothelial growth factors. But here again, sample size is not a very big, very few number is sample size is there, and this integrated trial this is going on. And different group of patients with a stable coronary artery disease, with this refractory angina, heart failure, whatever heart failure, ischemic or non-ischemic of nature, and even with the acute myocardial infarction, having some positive signal, but not exactly right now we are going for this under our treatments. So, before thank you, I will summarize in my words. This topic, when my topic changes, I told to sir I will talk on this, metabolic modulation, okay. Because what I find while working in this Lucknow, totally practicing cardiology, although not DM, I am sending the patient to tertiary care center and patient coming to us. डॉक्टर साहब आपने भेजा था, एंजियोग्राफी हो गई है, उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, और मेरा हार्ट तो ठीक है। मैं कहा क्या यही शब्द काफ़ी है? अगर सब ठीक है तो आपको 3 दिन के लिए पेरिन और सारी एंटी एंजियोजनल मेडिसिन क्यों लिखी गई है? वो इतने व्यस्त थे, उनके पास इतने सीरियस वाले पेशेंट थे कि आपके लिए कहा गया। इसका मतलब ये आपका हार्ट ठीक नहीं है। And they need to treat because they have underlying condition, hypertensive heart disease, having microvascular disease, diabetic heart disease, having microvascular disease, aortic valve disease, having microvascular disease, obesity, metabolic syndrome. This all patient having ischemia, not obstruction. And in that kind of patient, metabolic modulation is the important for our practice. Thank you. This is all from my side. It's a pleasure working.
Thanks, Dr. Mohammed Sajid. Sajid for delivering such a wonderful talk. The chairperson, please.
Can you combine all these 3 drugs, Renorelgine, Nicorandil, and Allometazoline?
I am combining it.
Patient, you are giving combined.
Yes. So I cannot complete in one blanket. I am combining it and I will combine it. But I will put a case scenario. Suppose you are one patient with ischemic heart disease, come to you the BP of 120/80. So I will go with the first line of medicine. But the same patient in front of me, it is by 90/60. After giving vascular protective medicine, second line will be my first line. among the three, which first? If suppose my patient is diabetic, I will think for reduction of HbA1c also and membrane stabilization from his pancreas. So I will use first ranulaz is genuine contraindication. If non-diabetic patient, I will add first second line of medicine, carbon, this trimetazidine and licurendil have effect on this blood pressure and this. So be cautious, but these two medicines are exactly hemodynamically neutral. I am combining that kind of patient that refractory angina after doing all kind of intervention, patient is still having the problem, and I am combining it. Especially I am telling my female obese patient, they are telling डॉक्टर साहब कुछ दवा लिख दो वजन कम हो जाए. फिर मेरा जवाब यही होता है, भाई माननीय गृह मंत्री जी कम नहीं कर पाए तो हम कैसे आपका कम करेंगे. वो भी मोदी जी बन जाते, कोई दवा होती तो. रोज 2-3 बार अपनी ओपीडी में मैं नाम लेता हूँ इस बात का. मरीज बहुत खुश हो जाता है, तब आप सही सच बोल रहे हैं कि वजन कम करने की कोई दवा नहीं है टिल डेट. सो we are using it frequently and I am combining in my practice and I am very happy, but keeping in the mind their hemodynamic parameter and the genuine contraindication.
Ivabradine as a modulator board है.
Ivabradine 4 trials, Signify trial, Beautiful trial and Shift trial. But you see the all trials, Ivabradine is especially effective when LV function is poor. This was used in Signify trial when the LV function was not there, was no statistically benefit. But if you see the Shift trial, this causes reduction in the mortality, recurrent hospitalization. Just keeping in the mind, always patient should be in the sinus rhythm, never in the AF level. Patient will be in the sinus rhythm. And the wonderful molecule, in spite of using optimal dose of beta blocker, इसी cardiomyopathy है 30%, BP आपके सामने 92/60 है, beta blocker बढ़ा नहीं सकते, दिन भर दर्द कर रहा, what to do? This is the right time to use ivabradine in that kind of patient. But this is effective with the beta blocker. Till date data, no data told that ivabradine is used alone as from the physician side. मैंने sinus tachycardia के लिए ivabradine लिख दी थी. This is not an indication of the ivabradine. Except in the literature, in appropriate sinus tachycardia somewhere mentioned that you can use alone. But ivabradine is used with the beta blocker, optimizing the dose of beta blocker. When you are not able to use the dose of beta blocker, you use the ivabradine in concurrent with this beta blocker and ivabradine together. And few side effects is that should be always every medicine has. So keeping in mind.
Last question is always chelating therapy. Chelating therapy people are using for managing any blocks. Do you have any idea of it?
No.
Chelation is done by various DM doctors in the south. They give some drug intravenously. No, not in medical guidelines.
No. I think
qualified people are doing it. क्यों डॉक्टर भी? ये सामल किसका नाम आता है? शॉल हार्ट सेंटर. मैं बताता हूँ. नहीं, ये क्वालिफाइड पर्सन.
नहीं मैं बताता हूँ.
एक मिनट बात हो जाए.
नहीं आपने बड़ा जटिल टॉपिक टच किया है. आपको मालूम है कौन है वो?
He is MD medicine.
He is MD physiology, suspended from all India Institute.
Suspended from
All India Institute.
Anyway.
sir, he is in Lucknow and I know him. He is
तो branching है also.
अच्छा सर.
उसकी ब्रांचेज हैं बहुत सारी. उसकी ब्रांचेज हैं बहुत
लंदन में भी. आप भी खोल सकते हो.
सारी. भी आते हैं. चलो.
He is a suspended MD physiology from all India Institute.
नहीं कुछ डॉक्टर डालिमा भी कर रहे हैं कुछ इस तरह कोई मशीन मंगाई है वो क्या है वो क्या चीज़ है
वो तो साइंटिफिक
क्या है
क्या पिला रहे हैं क्या दे रहा है वो तो ये कहते हैं ना कि
स्टिमुलेट करते हैं कुछ
और
दवाई पिलाते हैं वो क्या इलेक्ट्रो का
external counter pulsation. That actually called external counter pulsation.
वो साइंटिफिक है.
उसका साइंटिफिक क्या
सर यो अगर जो मैं उस साउल वाले को बता रहा हूँ मेरा पड़ोसी लखनऊ में.
नहीं उसकी तो सब जगह रांची में भी है.
What happens when you are giving some optimal medical treatment, post CABG, ischemic directed cardiomyopathy, your drug is effective, and same guy is going there कि डॉक्टर साहब हम बाईपास नहीं कराएंगे जो प्लास्टिक नहीं कराएंगे तो कहता है कि ठीक है हम एक्सटर्नल काउंटर पल्सेशन करेंगे एंड एट द सेम टाइम मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट इज गोइंग ऑन. इफ यू आर गिविंग only beta blocker and diuretic and affecting them after 6 to 8 weeks, definitely ejection fraction improve by 10 to 15-20%. And that's why people coming to us, okay, cavity shrink, filling pressure reduce, ejection fraction is good. Same guy is going to south, देखो हमारी दवा ने तुम्हारा ejection fraction बढ़ा दिया है and now my drug in my treatment is effective. This dilemma is going.
क्या एक क्विक ट्रीटमेंट से
Sure quack sir, you don't sure 101% is a quack.
अभी हमारे पास कम आने लगी। पहले बहुत पेशेंट आते थे साउथ नागपुर के आसपास से ही।
कई जगह
पहले आते आदमी आते हैं जब वो जब मर गए या ठीक ठाक होने के लिए इधर उधर आ गए तो ये सतीश का बड़ा अच्छा सवाल था। पहले तो मैं साजिद को मुबारक देना चाहूँगा कि 8-10 साल हो गए तुम्हें 8-10 साल में कली बन गई फ्लावर बन गई। ये बड़ा अच्छा सवाल सतीश भाई। देखिए टैकीकार्डिया इज वेरी बैड फॉर एंजाइना और हार्ट फेलियर। तो बेसिक ट्रीटमेंट जैसे साजिद ने भी कहा इज बीटा ब्लॉकर। इफ यू आर अनेबल टू इंक्रीज द डोज ऑफ बीटा ब्लॉकर then you can add ivermectin. In heart failure, heart rate should be below 60. So, but मैं हमेशा इस चीज़ को वो करता हूँ बताएं प्राइमरी ट्रीटमेंट ivermectin नहीं है। प्राइमरी ट्रीटमेंट बीटा ब्लॉकर है। But as you said rightly, if you are unable to increase the dose of beta blocker because of some side effect, because of blood pressure use, then ivermectin is a wonder drug to add for heart failure or even for angina. There are certain off-label indication also of ivermectin. पिछले 10 साल से ivermectin KOL ग्रुप है, की ओपिनियन लीडर बहुत हूँ, मैं उसका पार्ट हूँ। हर साल हम लोग ऑनलाइन ऑफलाइन वो करते हैं 25 लोग हैं। कुछ ऑफलाइन इंडिकेशन की जैसे साइंस से कार्डियोलॉजी ऑफ सेप्टिसेमिक शॉक, हालांकि ये ऑफलाइन है, ऑफ-लेबल सॉरी, कोई डेफिनेट इंडिकेशन नहीं है। जैसे इवन साइनस टैकीकार्डिया बिकॉज ऑफ एनी रीजन, उसमें भी कुछ ऑफ-लेबल इंडिकेशन है। गाइडलाइन प्रूव्ड नहीं है।
पल्मोलॉजी में भी है,
काफी जीरो में।
बट GDMT यही से कहता है कि आप ivermectin तभी यूज़ करें जब आपने सारी चीज़ ट्राई कर ली है और आपने सब बीटा ब्लॉकर यूज़ हो गया है, आर्नी हो गया, सब यूज़ हो गया, उसके बावजूद भी आपका हार्ट रेट बढ़ा हुआ है, देन यूज़ ivermectin, अदरवाइज देयर इज नो।
Thank you so much, sir, for such a